tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
I can feel my face when I'm with you. I love it. Yeah, I love it.
And we love Kevin from work.
Oh, we love it. I love it.
Oh, hello, AfterBuzzers. And thank you. We love this song, and we love this show. So thank you so much for tuning into the after show for Kevin from Work, Season 1, Episode 7, called Secrets from Work. I'm your lead host for tonight, Sam Davidson. If you guys haven't done so already, please go on iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, rate, review, subscribe. We really appreciate hearing your feedback, chatting with you, tweeting with you. So please just continue to do it and continue to watch the show because we want it to get renewed for a second season. We have two very special hosts with me here tonight, but we also have someone from the show here this evening, Mr. Eric Rollins.
Hey.
Who plays the very funny, very sexy salesman from tonight's episode. Do you ladies want to introduce yourselves and let us know where we can find you on Twitter? Also, where we can find you on Twitter, Eric.
All right.
Hey guys, I'm Sheri Nadel. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Sheri Nadel.
Hi guys, I'm Eric Rollins.
Yeah,
all right.
do your thing.
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Eric Rollins.
And I'm Katie Wilbert, and you can find me on all the things at Katie Wilbert.
Awesome. That's such a complicated one, Katie.
Yeah. I like to keep it Sims.
Yeah.
Just
Katie's
keep it real
spiced
simple.
tonight.
Awesome.
She's spiced. You're feist
I don't know
tonight.
what's going on. I'm just like...
It's the hair.
It's the braids. If you guys are listening and not
like a
tuning
cool
in,
braid thing.
yeah, she has like a superhero Disney princess hair thing going on, and it's absolutely fantastic. So, on that note,
Thank you.
let's talk about what we thought about tonight's episode. I know a couple of us weren't as excited last week, so do we think they brought it back this week or what?
I agree because I did watch it even though I wasn't sitting on the panel last week. Sorry about that. But I definitely think they brought it back tonight. I laughed. I loved it. I thought there was all these relationships developing, and I was just like, yeah, I'm in. I'm in.
Yeah, I loved it. I was glad that there was more relationship development, and it was interesting seeing a different side of Audrey. And yeah, I feel like we've all been talking about certain relationships and like, what if it goes this way? And like actually seeing that happen was really gratifying. I feel like for all of us, we were watching it together and we're like, yes, 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 at certain moments. And I feel like those are the episodes that are my favorite when we're all audibly like angry or really excited.
Absolutely. What about you, Eric? You were there. You were at the table read for the whole thing. You had some interesting stories while we were watching it. So
Yeah.
let's hear what you thought of this episode.
I actually really liked it. I've been trying to keep up with from the season from the beginning in terms of just watching, but I've seen the first few and I think I missed the last couple. But it's just, I think it's a really great show. What's very interesting about this one, just because I was there, they have so much fun making this
Yeah.
show.
It looks like it.
And the jokes on this show for ABC Family, when I first read the script, I was getting through. I was like, "Oh, this is good. Like, it's a little bit different, a little edgier than like some of the usual like sitcoms you see." And then I got to the one at the end where like Patty and Dev get caught, and I was reading the show. I was like, "No, this is a typo."
Yeah,
This is a
I
typo.
think you might be referencing like a blowy joke, which didn't make it in the script, perhaps. I don't know.
Well, the joke
No,
that I
this-
think he's referencing from is...
This is the turntable one.
He opens the door and then you hear her say, "You found my 2 turntables between your microphone."
Oh,
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So good.
I don't even think Roxy would have known what she meant. You know? I still want to get a distinct age on Roxy. That's my feeling. I just want to know she's over 18, like 100% for sure.
Oh my gosh.
And I mean, she acts like she's 12. And, you know, girls can look young for a very long time, so I would just like to know.
I feel like she represents the entire 20-something age bracket. I feel like on purpose almost to be like, this is what we're looking at for a lot of our generation.
That's embarrassing.
She was drinking wine on some other episodes, so I'm like, maybe
But
she's
not
Do you
in
guys not
public.
drink
Yeah.
wine at 2 p.m. in the afternoon?
Well,
No,
I
I'm just
mean,
saying, like,
not
me-
when I was 18.
Only when I tried
I
mine,
don't
too.
Actually,
either.
that's a lie.
It's so funny. That's so weird. Cool.
That's a lie, yeah. Okay, so let's get into it, and we'll get into all the characters specifically. But first, let's talk about Patty, because she was a really big part of this episode. We love Patty. She's kind of been in and out, and we saw Dev. It's Dev, right?
Yeah.
We see him again, which I didn't expect his character to be such, like, a focus of one episode. But
Yeah.
he was amazing, and Patty's not getting the attention she wants from her boyfriend, her doctor/DJ boyfriend, Dev. So Roxy tells her to break up with him just so he will step his game up, and then he says that he wants to break up with her too. She's devastated, and then plops on the bed that Brian is making for Kevin. And like we talked about last week, all the storylines are intertwining. The writers are doing it very well, I think, with kind of very organically making the characters be around each other and get to know each other, which is creating an ensemble cast. What did you guys think about Patty this episode?
I thought what I like about Patty's character is that in any situation she's ever in, she's still 100% Patty. So I feel like seeing her go through a breakup is exactly how I would imagine Patty going through a breakup, which I found hilarious. Just so dramatic. Like she's just she's gonna be on that couch until something changes for her. Like someone comes in and sweeps her off her feet.
I thought it was interesting because usually she's so vocal and she'll say how she feels, but this time she listened to her friend and she went for the game. You know, like that underlying message that came through, like, do you have to play games with the opposite sex to get their attention?
Yes.
You know, like, break up with them, but you really don't want to, but do it anyway to, like, see their reaction.
Yeah.
And then she got the opposite reaction that she wanted, which was, he was like, okay, I want to break up with you too. But then he also was playing the game because he really didn't want to break up with her either.
Yeah.
So, like, have you guys ever done that?
I was just thinking the same thing. Like, what's the craziest thing you guys have ever done in a situation where you're like, I'm gonna lose this person, or like, I need them to want me? Like,
Yeah, I think I've done that. What about you? Has anyone ever done that to you, you think, Eric?
Oh, I'm sure it's happened. I don't like games, and for a long time I didn't really date. And I've got a girlfriend now that I've been for almost 2 years now. But I didn't.
All right, ladies.
girlfriend.
Check. Got it.
Sorry.
Hey, girlfriend.
Sorry.
Shout
It
out.
happens. And yeah, she's pretty cool.
Shout
But
out.
But okay, do you ever say to her, yeah, you look gorgeous, but like you're like, no, I hate that shirt?
Oh my God, he can't say that if she's watching.
oh, are you kidding me? I'll get it anyway. No, what I love about Holly, which is the girl that I'm dating, is that there is no games, which is awesome. So if
Good
she
job,
asks me
Holly.
Holly's great. If she asks me a question, she wants the answer. If I ask a question, I want the answer. So if I go, I'm like, hey, like, what do you think about like this hat or whatever? She'll look at me and be like, please take that off. Don't wear that around. Don't wear that
dumb
around
hat.
people. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the nice way of saying it. But at the same time, she'll ask me too. But before I met her and I would date, and I got a couple of those like, oh, well, I don't know, and like some of the game stuff.
That's a no.
Yeah, I was like, oh, cool, that's great. Well, nice to meet you. And I get a call like, hey, what are you doing? Other things.
Yeah, it's, I'll let you know when I'm free. Question mark.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm just a really bad liar. Like, people can see it on my face.
Me
If-
too. And we're
if-
both, I know you're an actress. I studied theater in college, and it's so funny because I'm the worst liar ever too, and I don't understand why.
Well, I think like, people have asked that before too. Like, what do you mean you're a good liar? You're an actor. I'm like, yeah, but actors have to be good at like showing truth. So really, if you're a good liar, you're going to be a terrible actor. Really, is how that works. But yeah, in any moment that I've been in where someone's like, what do you think about this? And if there's any trace of me that's like, no, they'll see it in my eyes and be like, you don't think so? And I'll be like, I think we could regroup and really find something that is flattering for you. I feel like I'm always honest, but it just takes me a minute to like find the right thing to say, but they've already seen like the
reaction that
hell
you've had.
no on my face. Yeah.
Well, you know, as we know, it does not really work as Patty expects with Dev, and then Roxy goes over to Dev's apartment to tell him, you know, how amazing Patty is, which I love her list of things. They're gonna be best friends forever, okay?
Yeah.
These two, like, they're the two that need to, like, not romantically get together, of course, but, like, they're the pair I love the most, honestly. They randomly found each other, so random. I mean, Roxy just moved to the city, you know, Kevin is this guy that Patty basically, like, assaulted, and that's her brother. So now they're best friends, and they're perfect for each other. So Roxy goes to Dev's apartment, says all these amazing things about Patty, and he tries to kiss her, which was upsetting at first.
Hell no.
Yes, and very stupid on his part because all he was trying to do was make Patty jealous.
Play that game.
Yeah.
These damn
You
games,
see?
y'all. Have you ever tried to make someone jealous that you've been in a relationship with?
Oh, tons, yeah.
Yeah, as a female.
Yes.
In high school. In
No,
high
I'm
school.
curious.
The
I
easiest
love
way
getting
for
the
a female
other
to
side.
do that is put the hottest Instagram picture up, right? Isn't that right?
Oh, no, it's to hook up with their best friend.
Oh, well, you know more than I do.
Sorry,
then.
you know what? I had a crazy high
There are
school
rules about
experience, you
that.
guys.
Wow.
I was like in a movie. No, but it is. It's to make, you know, if you want to make someone jealous, you kind of go after their best bud. So I get where Dev was coming from. We didn't know him that well, so I was like, ew, he's such a skeezy DJ. Gross. Like, that's what I thought. I was like, has he been eyeing Roxy this whole time? Because I'm not the biggest fan of DJs. I think they're a little, you know, wannabe Euro trash. Anyways.
I feel like there's a story behind that.
I don't know. I just don't get it. All they're doing is playing like records and stuff, and they're not singing. And that's just my personal opinion.
Have
but
you ever tried to DJ before?
no, and I probably suck at it, so it's fine.
I've tried at a party before, and just not a talent of mine. I've also tried to read the weather, like a weatherman. I've got to give them props because that is hard. It's very difficult to read the weather. There's like nothing here, and then screens over here, and they're changing before you're ready, and it was really bad.
You're right, Katie.
wow.
No, I know it's hard.
That's how
I'm
I
probably
think about
jealous.
DJing.
I could never do it. It's like
okay.
weather.
We've all got our opinions, you know?
Yeah.
We all have our opinions, but
okay.
sometimes they tend because, you know, they stay up all night, they travel around the world. They're kind of a little skeezy. But Dev is also a doctor. So
It's a balance.
we have
It's
that
a balance.
balancing it out over there.
Yeah.
He's easy, but he helps people.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's like a good balance. It makes him a very real human being and perhaps someone that's good for Patty. But we know that Dev was just trying to make Patty jealous because Brian goes over and because Roxy tells Brian what happened, and Brian automatically is like, I'm going to go over there and talk to him. And then she expects him to kick his ass, which is a very girlfriend thing to do, or a brother thing to do.
Yeah. Hard to tell the difference.
Hard to
sometimes.
tell. And this is the episode that we have been waiting for, where we see that Brian actually has feelings for Roxy.
Yeah.
Yes.
How do y'all feel about that?
Love it. I love it. The way he showed. Well, first he wasn't even sure he liked her until he was just talking about her to Dev, and then Dev's like, he's like, I'm sorry, do you like Roxy? Like, you know, and then it was like the light bulb went on. He's like, oh damn, I think I do. And then I think he wasn't even comfortable with it at first, you know,
No.
because it's his best friend's little sister. But oh my god, I hope something happens because they'd be so fun together.
Yeah, I think they'd be super cute, but really bad for each other. I mentioned this in one of our episodes before. I think they're like so cute in that they have fun together, but I feel like on a relationship level, they would be the worst match for each other, like in real life, because they would not help each other grow or be better. They would just be at the level that they're at and then stay at that level.
What level is that?
Like day drinking wine at 2 p.m. and like breaking lamps and like planning on throwing a party for your brother / best friend, but then like you don't because you get so wasted.
Yeah.
Like that level. And you can't stay at that level forever. That's why people end up finding their soulmates and then are like, damn, this person's making me a better human. Thank God. Let's go do something good for the planet.
You just got deep there, girl.
That's okay. I could get deep about something else. Did you hear about that show Quantico that's going to be on ABC?
Yeah.
Can I chat with you guys about it for a second?
It's going to be a deep show, yeah.
Yeah, great. Well, it's going to be on Sunday, September 27th. And it's a new anticipated drama, and it's called Quantico. Quantico is where the FBI trains their top recruits. Apparently, like 100,000 young people apply, but only 1,200 get in. They're like the smartest, the strongest, the most fit, basically the most badass people. And they have to live and train together under one roof. But in this show, everything changes when America is struck with a terrorist attack, and the FBI discovers that one of the people at Quantico is a terrorist, which is a bummer. And they're like, who's behind all the terrorist traitor stuff? And it's gonna be just like an edge of your seat drama with like all these twisty turns. And Priyanka Chopra, did I say it?
I think so, yeah.
Did I do it? Priyanka Chopra.
Chopra?
She's great though, isn't she? She's gonna star in television's top show in the fall, anticipated anyhow. Don't miss the series premiere of Quantico, Sunday, September 27th, 10/9 Central on ABC. Woo!
I want to see that. Seriously, it sounds so awesome.
It's
I
gonna
think
be.
I've seen all the posters and stuff.
I've
around
definitely
town, too.
seen all the posters
It looks
and
really
been like,
interesting.
something I should see and educate myself on because I know nothing about a lot of things that
Yeah.
have to do with the military.
Well, I've seen the pilot. It's a very good show. Everybody should check it out. Yeah, it's
Sam
gonna.
knows.
I know it's gonna be a lot of fun. Okay, so relating to Quantico, let's talk about Kevin from work. What?
They're so similar.
Totally.
So similar. So moving on from Brian and Roxy, which they would be amazing recruits for America. I think that would be like America's downfall, honestly, if the two
boy.
of them were in Quantico.
Or it could be like a Tropical Thunder situation where it's basically a failure, but is it also a success?
I see her being the one, like, entertaining the troops.
Yeah, like it just gets twisted on its head and they accidentally save everyone by like throwing a bomb in the wrong direction or the right direction.
Well, actually, Katie, I have a question for you as an actress.
Okay.
How do you feel about this portrayal of Roxy moving to LA and all of a sudden getting a series regular role on a network show?
Oh, I've said this before too. I think it basically adds to Roxy's character in that everything just works perfectly for her. For anyone who is not aware of how it works when you come to Los Angeles and become an actor, it's so weird, but like when you get off the plane, no one's like, we're looking for actors anywhere. We can't find any actors. Are you an actor? Oh, thank God, because we've got this big movie and you're pretty and we want you to be in our film. It's so weird because you like think that'll happen and it doesn't at all. Usually it takes about 10 years for people to actually big break, and it's just like a weeding out process. Like people just don't stay, but if you wait 10 years, you watch out, because then everyone will suddenly know your face and be like, who's that person who's on everything? So that's why, to me, it's funny that as part of Roxy's character, she has it so easy with acting, because she has it so easy with everything, and it's so unrealistic, and I find it very, very funny. And painful, but funny.
Yeah, it's ironic. There has to be something about her life, I think, that happens that isn't going to go right. Perhaps her love life. I don't know. No one can be that perfect.
Do you think she's into Brian?
I think she is. She doesn't know it.
Exactly. She does not know it yet.
Eric?
Yeah. I think she does. She may not know it, but I think it'll end up being something where by the time she's into him, he's going to think that she's a friend.
Yeah.
I think that I don't think they'll ever get on the same page. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think that if they ever got together, it doesn't really change anything. It just
Like
keeps
a-
everything like, okay, they're gonna go on like a crazy adventure, and neither one of them are going to be able to do anything about
And
it.
then they're gonna take ayahuasca and like not know where they are.
Yeah, and they'll drown.
I think
in
they're gonna have
bathtub.
a little fling. Like I think she's gonna fall on top of him when she's drunk or something, and their face is gonna hit, and they're gonna kiss, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh my god!" And then it's gonna last 5 minutes.
And then they're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
wait, but
No, we
you're
shouldn't do
Kevin's
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
best friend and I'm her
And then oops,
sister.
you know?
Yeah.
I think that's the
Oops.
situation.
Have you guys ever dated one of your best friend's siblings?
Sibling.
No, but I almost dated one of my brother's best friends, and he was very upset.
Really?
He was very, very upset. I will never forget it for the rest of my life.
I kissed one of my brother's friends at the end of one night. We because there wasn't enough room for all of us in the cab, and so I took the cab with my brother's friend, and we ended up kissing. And when my brother found out, he was just so like, "What? Like, why?" And I'm like, "It was just a kiss. Relax, bro." And he was just like, "No."
Is it a line that you don't cross?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I was surprised when you guys were like,
Okay,
oh yeah,
well-
no, we'll just go like sleep with his best friend or sort of like date his best friend. Because, I mean, it's like bro code. You don't,
Yeah.
like, you don't, don't girls have like, they have similar rules, right?
Yeah, but like, okay, so I have a best friend who has a brother, and if I were like to go date him, I feel like I would have a conversation with him or
Yeah.
with my best friend,
Yeah.
being like, "Yo, your brother and I are like obviously soulmates." And I'm not saying that's the case. I'm saying like hypothetically speaking.
Does
like,
Kim have a brother?
No. So I have two best friends. One is Kimberly, who we're missing today because she's in New Zealand, and the other is Carissa. But as an example, she is a brother. We're like pals, and we all hang out all the time, just like what happens in Kevin from work. But like, if I were ever to be like, I'm gonna date your brother, I would talk to her first and be like, I'm gonna date your brother.
Well, yeah.
It would be shady if I just started
Yes.
like hooking up with her brother, and then later was like,
Yeah.
BT dubs, totally been banging your bro. I would never phrase it that way, and I would never do that. But I feel like there's a way that can happen in a right way, I guess, where it's not super shady.
I think you really have to like have a good, like a solid friendship. Because I think like,
Yeah.
for guys anyway, there's also a protective thing. Mm-hmm. Like,
I was just
Yeah.
gonna say
I don't
that.
have a sister, but I feel like if I did, some of my best friends, I love them to death. They're awesome people. Don't know if I want them
Ain't
dating
they
people
the
I'm
most-
So
related to.
you just
though.
nailed it, because that happened with my brother. Like this
Yeah.
was years ago when we were like younger and whatever. But I remember thinking like so many of his friends were cute, and I was like, you know, like what about that guy? He's single, and my brother's like, no. He's like, he's not good for you.
Yep.
So he went into protective mode because I guess he sees like just the guy side, and he doesn't want
Yes.
them messing with
Yeah.
his big sister.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. Do you
So,
think Kevin
yeah.
would want Brian to date Roxy?
No.
I honestly, now that I think about it, I feel as though he might not be opposed to someone taking Roxy off his hands for a little bit.
Okay.
But would that
would it be
relationship
Brian?
be? Because I think that he would be cool with that only if whoever she dates is able to like kind of hold her hand. Because I feel like if Brian and Roxy dated, Kevin then would have to go into
Hold
like
both their hands.
exactly,
While they hold each other's hands.
and that's just
be
awkward.
a
Yeah.
weird try
Yeah, it
situation.
might not work
where,
out.
like,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it would make an interesting episode.
yes.
I think it'd be funny,
it would.
but
I hope we get into it, but I really want to get into Audrey, who I'm not too fond of this episode, even though I love Paige, and Kevin, their bathroom bonding.
Yeah.
So Kevin somehow finds that Julia, their boss, has this hidden bathroom behind one of her like cat portraits, which is amazing that she has more than one. I applaud her. And it's very beautiful. It has like a bidet, a heated butt thing, lots of nice lotions.
It's a towel warmer.
Yes, and the bathroom situation at work is very undesirable. They're afraid to drink because they have to wait in such a long line.
That is a nightmare situation for me because I have the bladder the size of a small child and a pregnant lady.
Yeah, I would
Oh, boy.
quit. That would not be okay with me either.
Yeah,
I
I'm
drink a
like-
lot of water.
Which is so good. Stay hydrated.
Exactly.
Pee should always be clear, constant, and copious.
Never too dark yellow. You know, it means you're dehydrated,
Yeah.
guys, if you didn't know.
And if it's bright yellow, you just took vitamins.
So yeah, there's
I
only
didn't know
one
that
bathroom
one.
there.
I would say it's like drawing network, like the more you know.
The more you know, guys, you learn
Just
something
looking
new
out.
every day.
We're in a drought, guys.
It is true. So Kevin sees that every episode it seems as though Kevin finds something to bond with Audrey over. And this is the bathroom. And it's almost like this time they're actually close. They had this back-to-back thing once in the bathroom. It was very cute. And then we find out that Audrey tells Ricky. And the way that she told Kevin it happened was like Ricky threatened her with a hole punch kind of thing. Basically is what I saw in my eyes. And then that is not what happened. She has been feeling like she's been getting too close to Kevin. And she told Ricky basically to just throw Kevin in the bathroom under the bus. And we haven't seen Brock. Why? I don't know.
He's out.
But like she's
He's on
trying.
his way out. He's on his way
She's
out.
trying so hard to keep him in. What do you guys think about this? She was such a bitch this episode to him.
Yeah, I think this attitude that came out in this episode I haven't seen before. Like we saw her drinking and getting drunk one night, which was like the unangelic side of her, but this was like a snooty side. Like I'm too good for you. Like don't even like think that way. But I don't know, maybe she's going into protective mode because she still is seeing Brock. She felt like she was cheating on him, she said, by just bonding with Kevin. I don't agree with her doing that to him. She kind of just always kind of throws him under the bus or runs away and leaves him in the cold. But I will tell you, I am so happy that Kevin stood up and told her off.
Yeah.
He gave it to her so good, and I was just like,
Yeah, that
she
was
needed
nice
that.
to see. And
Yeah.
he was just really open and honest too. It wasn't even like a crazy. It was just
Yeah.
like you like me, and that's why you're being like this.
Exactly.
What I thought was weird was that it just was like a switch. Like she was having so much fun, and I feel like they've done this a couple times with her, but the other times there's been a reason, like, oh, well, Brock his roommate's gone or whatever, so I'm going to go stay with him. I feel like this time it was just, there was no reason. Like, had we seen a conversation where someone's like, weird, you're spending so much time with him, you shouldn't be, and then for her to be such a dick, it would make sense to me. But I feel like for her to all of a sudden just be so
I think maybe
snooty.
she had a moment where she's like, oh my God, I really like him, and it scared her.
I wish we could have seen
Right?
that moment.
Right.
Well, I wish,
exactly.
yeah, I would have liked to see it and justify the behavior, because I feel like that's what was missing for me in this episode was that she just all of a sudden
Like,
was
what was
being
the switch?
a jerk,
Right?
yeah. But we didn't see her have that moment of like, I shouldn't be doing this. It was just like, I'm being a jerk to you, and I was like, this is a weird way to do this.
Yeah. What do
And
you
then-
think, Eric?
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of things.
Let it out.
Right? Well, no, I mean, I think that you guys are right. I think that it's definitely a way for her to protect herself, because as much as she may want to be with him as a lady, because I don't know it from that side, I don't know from the other side. Have you guys ever had someone that, either that you like or likes you, but you know that like the fallout could be bad? Because if they get together, and then it ends horribly, and then they're still sitting across from each other at work,
Yeah.
So like I can see that reaction of how it's not very easy to let people down sometimes.
Yeah.
Even if like you're both vibing, and when you're like, "Ooh, it's not too hard, not too easy to be like, this is great. We should not have this much fun as often
That's
or like
a good
this."
point. Yeah.
So it kind of has to be like, oh, okay, now you think I'm a jerk, and we can end whatever like, romantic track that we're
That's
going on, and then we can
interesting.
go forward as friends.
Like she was being a jerk on purpose to be like, don't, just stop liking me. Like, I'm being a jerk to you now.
Yes, like,
So-
see, look, I'm a terrible person.
Yeah.
Move on. You don't want any of this. And then
Interesting.
next week, like, we'll go get coffee and we'll be like, oh, remember when you liked me? Oh, that was so silly.
You're such a bitch.
But then he called it. Then he, instead of just
Yeah.
taking it as being like, oh, fine, like, whatever, you're a jerk and go back to the bathroom by myself. he stepped up and he was like, all right, like, no, like, don't screw with this. Like,
Yeah.
this is the thing. And then I think that last one at the end with the
He's
car.
not playing games.
He's not playing games.
No.
And I think that kind of stopped her in tracks, because then she's got no more momentum to cut that off. And so
Yeah.
now it makes it really awkward, because they both know now.
Well, and now, after the last moment of the episode, Kevin saves her life. She almost runs in front of a car. I think that we're getting the idea that that is going to kind of turn the switch back on in her brain.
Yeah. I think she's going to keep fighting it, but I think she's aware it's there, like, and aware that he's aware. Like, it's out.
The elephant in the room is
she
there.
can pretend like she doesn't like him, but he's aware of what she's doing. She's aware of what she's doing.
Yeah, he knows that she knows that
Yeah.
he knows.
I love how Kevin's character has developed from the first episode, because the first episode he was terrified to say anything to her. You know, he had to write it in a letter, and then he wanted to, like, he was chasing to get it back. And this episode, which is number 7, I think, he is like letting her have it and saying, you know you like me. You know what's going on here, girl. You know, and I'm just like, I love this Kevin guy now.
Yeah. I like this side of him for sure.
Yeah.
I love him. So let's take a quick moment to talk about you, Eric, and your experience on the show, what it was like, if you're going to be on it again in the future. Yeah. Tell us all the dirty deeds.
All the dirty deeds. I wish they were dirty deeds. Probably one of the most fun and like ego-free sets I have been on.
Nice.
Both like higher budget and like zero budget. But I showed up because I only shot for one day, and the showrunner Barbie came up right away. Was like, "Oh, hey, I'm Barbie. So nice to meet you." I was like, "Oh, great to meet you too." And like kept on going on, and then I was in hair and makeup. They're like, "Oh, yeah, no, that's a showrunner." I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, if I knew that was a showrunner like right away, because I'd never seen her before,
right.
I'm sure I would have been like, "Oh, it's so nice to meet you. Thank you for having me on."
And she created How I Met Your Mother, right?
I think so. Yeah, and just such an open, like, so much fun. I mean, between some of the shots, because my stuff was shot kind of beginning of the day and like middle of the day. Just got to hang out with everybody. I got to hang out with Jason, Noah, Paige. Just the most chill hangout, like watching. If you guys follow Jason on like Instagram and Twitter, you'll know he does a ton of dub smashes.
Oh yeah, I
so
saw
like
that.
just watching him film, like they were just the coolest people.
That's so nice.
Yeah, and it was an absolute blast. There's just a lot of freedom there, which was great. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
What would your ideal role be? Not necessarily in Kevin from Work, but in acting.
You know, I mean, I just want to work. That's kind of I love to kind of explore different parts kind of who I am, so like, which is great because depending on what you're playing, it's all part of you, like you were saying earlier. You know, acting isn't necessarily lying, and acting is finding your truth.
Yep.
You know, in different situations that your character's in. So really, I would love to kind of just explore a little bit of everything. Ideally, I'd love to try to put this out there. Denzel, if you ever need a son.
I think it would work.
Right
I
here,
did think that when I
would love that.
looked at your IMDb picture, because of course I was like, what's Eric been up to?
Oh, that's just a picture of Denzel.
Yeah.
I just put it there. It's fine.
I definitely was like, I don't want to ask him this because probably everyone does, but one of my questions for you was like, so, how many people tell you look like Denzel Washington? But you brought it up first, and now I can do that, and I don't feel weird.
Well,
Do you feel weird yet?
Katie always feels weird. I'm just kidding.
But I've been living it for so long.
Right? No, I mean, I've got it a few times. I was actually, years and years ago, I was lucky enough I'm from Boston, or outside of Boston, but when I was still on the East Coast, I got to stand in for Denzel for a movie, which was awesome. Like, I think I saw him like once. But because as a stand-in, I was hanging out kind of just behind the scenes, so I just waited around a lot for the most part, because I think he had one scene that he was shooting. And at one point, apparently around like the extras that were there, because I was separated from them, the rumor had gone around that I was his son. And it had built so much that like one like really like ballsy extra comes up, he's like, oh hey, he starts like chatting me up, this and that. And like I'm like, oh cool, I'm like, yeah, I answered his question. I'm like, oh that's awesome. I'm like, no, I'm here for a couple days, like doing this show for a couple days and blah blah blah. And I could tell he was trying to get to somebody, I didn't know what he was getting to. He was like, so you're Denzel's son, right? And I was like, oh no, thank you. Turned around and walked right away. I was like, oh okay.
Oh.
Like maybe I should have said yes.
Yeah, I think that's your key to Hollywood there.
That's exactly what I do. I'm just gonna walk and be like, hi, yeah, and I'm Denzel's son. I'm the one you don't know about. It's fine. It's fine.
Gosh, people are funny.
They are. Well, we loved you on this episode, and you're very funny. I hope to see you in a lot more things, and I'm sure we will with Denzel. All right, guys, let's get into some very quick predictions before we wrap up tonight's episode. Do you want to start us off, Miss Katie?
I'm always so good at this part.
Shoot, I always forget.
It always gets thrown to me, and I'm like, oh my god. Okay, I will say this. When we were watching the episode, they sort of showed some brief flashes of previews. And I saw Roxy talking to Audrey, and I feel like I'm going to get the moment that I wanted of someone being like, what are your intentions with Kevin? And I want that moment, and I need it, and I think I'm about to get it. Woo! So it's not necessarily a prediction, more just like I know it's happening.
Audrey's going to get what she
Truth
deserves.
bomb. Yeah, so that's where I'm at with it.
How about you, Eric?
Me. Can we come back to me?
All right, Sheri, take it over here.
So I think we're gonna see a kiss soon. I don't think it's gonna go all the way to the end of the season. I think we might get a kiss soon between Audrey and Kevin. I hope. I want to see them kiss already. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
I think that Sheri prays at night, like that Kevin and Audrey will finally kiss. She's just waiting for it, and so am I, honestly. Except, I know. I think that Roxy. Someone needs to have Kevin's back. Kevin has everybody else's back. Everybody's.
Yeah.
And no one has his. And I think something, we see, this is the first time I think we've actually seen a preview for next week. Usually we don't.
Yeah.
And it seems something happens to Kevin in the office, and he gets hurt, which was funny that they threw in that little story about his finger picking up the football.
Oh,
and instead of him catching it, he broke or hurt his finger picking it up, actually. So he's clumsy, and something happens to him. He's in the hospital, and yes, there's going to be some kind of confrontation, and I can't wait. All right, sir.
All right. I'm actually going to jump on Katie's bandwagon. I think that I don't think it's just going to be Roxy, though. I think that at some point, whether it's the next episode or before the end of the season, I think she's going to get confronted by Roxy and probably Brian as well.
Brian's stepping up.
Yeah, and I think that he's getting sick of kind of what's going on with Kevin, so he's just all of the crying, so he's like, will you kiss yet? Have you kissed yet? Have you kissed yet? I think that that maybe Roxy will say something to Audrey, and Brian is either going to tell Kevin, dude, you need to move on. That I think would probably be the way to end the season. Of Brian be like, you're gonna move on, come on, we're going out, we're gonna meet some people, and then I think we'll be left with a cliffhanger of did Kevin meet someone new?
Kevin tries to move on, and he's like, you're right, bro, and then Audrey's running down the street
yes. And you don't know.
You guys, I'm already frustrated.
That's good. That's
right?
good.
It's a lot to take in.
I know.
I'm terrible.
Add Eric to the writing panel.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, let's go around real quick. Let us know again where we can find you on the interweb one more time.
I am Katie Wilbert, and you can find me on a lot of different social media websites at Katie Wilbert.
I'm Eric Rollins. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at @TheEricRollins.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. I'm Sheri Nadel, and you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
And I'm Sam Davidson. You can find me online at samdavidsonentertainment.com or at samd43 on Twitter and Instagram. And of course, do not forget to follow us at AfterBuzz TV, at AfterBuzz TV on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud, the works. All right, guys, we will see you next week. Thanks so much for tuning in. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.